So, I've got my little Christmassy penguin teacup, I've got my Santa Claus earrings and really cozy socks. And I've got my laptop so that maybe this time I'll even be able to read what I've written. I think it's the perfect setting for a Christmas story. Hope you enjoy. December 5th. We walk down the frozen streets leading to our house. Josh to my left and Till to my right, and for a moment I get lost in the comfort of their bodies shielding me from the sharp cold around us. When Josh was over at my place the other day, he heard me and Till talk about baking Christmas cookies and offered to help, so we invited him to come along today. As we make our way through the cold wind that keeps throwing ice needles into our faces, we warm the air by telling jokes and discussing which cookies to make. The second we enter the house, I go to make us some tea, while the guys put on a fire in the living room's fireplace. Soon the entire ground floor is filled with a comfortable warmth and the smell of chai tea intertwined with burning wood. Half an hour later we are already covered in flour and our tummies are filled with cookie dough, the kitchen table packed with a colorful mixture of ingredients, burnt cookies from our first try, half-rolled out dough in various shapes, and beautifully decorated finished products. We've got cheesy Christmas music playing in the background that is mostly drowned out by our stories of past holidays and the laughter that accompanies them. The fireplace has lost its wet spark a few minutes ago, but now the oven keeps us warm while we watch the white winter take over the world from the safety of our kitchen and each other's company. Who will even eat all those cookies, I ask, as I take the last tray out of the oven. I volunteer, Till shouts jokingly and starts eating 3 cookies at once. All the while, Josh watches his every move, just like he did before when Till tasted the various different icings. It is not the same look he gave me, not as intense, but rather one of curiosity, of suppressed wonderment. And I know that kind of look. I know it because Till wore it a few years ago when he met his boyfriend Daniel. When he first started questioning what feelings really mean and what attraction should be like. For a second I am paralyzed by this discovery, not because it is unexpected, but because no matter what I told Elea about not wanting to date Josh, I did imagine what a relationship with him would be like. But then I watch as Till locks eyes with Josh, and I know that he knows, just like I know that this is about more than my silly little daydreams, because I remember what it was like back then, when Daniel denied Till, when he denied himself, and I wouldn't want anyone to have to be that scared of themselves, including Josh. So when Till is distracted by the strength of his apron's knot on his back, I head over to Josh and whisper, "You can tell him, you know." And when I receive a confused expression in response, I continue, "About the way you think of him. He won't judge you, he never would. And neither do I, by the way." There's shock in his eyes, a shadow of fear darkening that joyful light they held just a second before, and for a moment I think I did the wrong thing, that I scared him away. But then he looks over at Till, then back to me, and I see the corner of his lips twitch before he nods and goes over to my brother. "Here, let me help you with that," he says, guiding Till's hands away from the tight knot to loosen it himself. I grin at the two of them before taking my own apron off and heading into the living room to get some more tin boxes for the cookies, an excuse neither of the boys seem to have heard. December 6th. Damn it! I have been out here for about half an hour now, searching for the building where I will hopefully find a basketball team to join. But with this maze of monochrome square blocks placed into streets that all look the same under the cover of thick snow, it is impossible to make out the one I am trying to find. Especially since I've never been here before. I have no idea where I am, and after it took me nearly an hour to get to this sports complex, I will probably never find my way back home. Stupid London. Stupid London with its stupid tall building and its stupid color-coordinated tube system that tries to create the illusion of an organized city. Why does it all have to be so gigantic? Back home, I would have found my basketball gym with closed eyes, simply because there was only one, and that was right next to the school. I'm about to call my dad to pick me up, although I don't really know where I'd tell him to come to, when I hear a voice behind me. Can I help you? It sounds like dark honey, the kind that you use in tea to get rid of a cold and that makes the entire drink taste 1,000,000 times sweeter. I turn around to find a boy about my age, but at least 6 inches taller. His brown hair and chocolate mousse eyes a strong contrast to the white world surrounding us. He raises an eyebrow and I realize that I am staring at him. Yes, actually, I rush to say, my cheeks positively blushing. I am looking for... Well, to be honest, I don't really know what I'm looking for, but the website said to be here to sign up for the basketball team, so here I am. I make a rather helpless gesture in the general direction of the nearest buildings and flinch as I hear how stupid I sound. The boy, however, grins in amusement and says, "You're obviously new here, but luckily for you, I work for the sports center, so I know my way around this maze. Follow me." I smile as he uses the same metaphor for this place that I thought of earlier and do as he said. "I'm Toby, by the way." "Sam," I respond. "No offense, but aren't you a little young to work here?" It's the first thing I can think of to keep the conversation going, and thankfully he doesn't mind, but grins again before saying, "Well, if you think so, I probably shouldn't tell you about my 2 other jobs." I stare at him with wide eyes and would have run straight into a bench standing by the street, but Toby grabs my arm in time to draw me away from it, and thereby closer to him. We stand still for a second, lost in each other's eyes, and I'm about to say something possibly really stupid out of nervousness, but Toby's quicker. "Come on, we're nearly there." He's right. We only take a few more steps before he opens the door to the next building and gestures for me to enter. We walk along the corridor to another door, this time an open one, and I step in behind Toby. "Hello, Miss Wilson. This young lady wants to join your basketball team." I blush again at those words, but notice the woman behind the office desk looking at me, so I say, "Hello." "Thank you, Toby," she says, her voice surprisingly high for such a broad body. "All right, you will have to fill out some forms and decide which group to join. We've got 3 dates a week. Why don't you take a seat?" She smiles at me and then turns around to take a stack of papers from the nearby shelf. I sit down and turn around to Toby, who is still standing in the open door. "Thank you." "My pleasure. See you around, Sam." And with that he leaves the office and closes the door behind him, his distancing steps a silent repetition of those last words. "See you around. I hope I will." December 7th. I am deep in thought, playing with my hair as per usual, my eyes following the drizzling snow behind the window, without really looking at them, as I hear Josh and Til's voices downstairs. I know that my silent wonderment is useless, my thoughts spinning around the questions of what is changing back in my head, if people miss me, of when I will go back, and when this whole situation started in the first place. I've had those exact same thoughts 1,000,000 times, my mind going through them like a script without ever finding an answer to any of them, so I decide to shut my brain down for a while and join the boys. I follow their laughter into the kitchen, where they disappeared an hour ago, saying they would make dinner since Dad won't be home before midnight. But as I enter the room, I see something really different than cooking. Josh and Til standing close to each other, their lips together, their eyes shut and hands intertwined. I let out a surprised "Oh!" and the second it leaves my mouth I want to slap myself. Why couldn't I just stay quiet and leave? Why did I have to stop this wonderful moment for them? Of course they jump apart, or at least Josh does. I don't think Till is that bothered by my interruption, his hand still holding on to Josh's, his eyes only acknowledging me briefly. But Josh looks terrified. His entire face is bright red, and he obviously tries to think of something to say. So do I, hoping to come up with something to make sure he's okay, to let him know that everything's fine, that I am his friend, and that I am happy for him, even if he can't quite accept it. I force a smile on my lips and say, "Sorry to interrupt. I wanted to get something to drink." Well, good job, Sam. That wasn't stupid at all, I think. I feel both of them watch me as I head over to the fridge and take out a bottle of water, then make my way back out of the kitchen. When I'm at the door, Josh clears his throat and whispers, "You won't tell anyone, will you?" I turn around, not to Josh, but to my brother, who looks hurt by those words, but tries his best to hide it behind an expression that I can only interpret as hope. "I won't if you don't want me to," I tell him, meaning both of them. I see how Till breathes in, how he presses Josh's hand and then breathes out again. He shakes his head. "Not yet." "Okay," I nod, and give Josh a reassuring smile, trying to let him know that I mean it. "Then I won't. Now, how about I leave you to it?" They relax, Till even lets us a chuckle, and I do as I said and get back upstairs. The kitchen stays silent. I think they will be okay. December 8th. "Ilya, come on, we're running late." Gosh, I know. This is the third time he said that, or rather shouted it, so that he can stay downstairs, already in his boots and jacket. And I know we're running late. I know it is my fault. But Till really has no idea how difficult it is to find the perfect outfit on the first day of your period. Everything is either too tight or too baggy. Finally, I just go with my favorite jeans and a long sleeve and cardigan combo. "What took you so long?" Till rolls his eyes as I throw on my jacket, and then we are on our way to school. At first I liked the fact that our new house is so close to the school that we can walk there, since it gives us the opportunity to catch some fresh air, well, as fresh as it gets in the big city, and our walk takes us through a really beautiful part of Hyde Park. But after a week of frozen feet, snotty nose and weird marks in my makeup in the shape of melted snowflakes, I start to miss the warm school bus. However, one good thing didn't change. I get some alone time with my brother. Normally we just listen to music and keep the conversation on an every now and then a few words basis, but today I'm thankful for those minutes I get to spend with him. "Till?" I begin. "Yeah," he asks and turns his music down. "I just wanted to apologize again for yesterday." I know he isn't angry or anything, but it would still feel weird not to mention it. Plus, I want to know what happened after I left. "It's okay, Sam. You couldn't know well, it's no big deal." He smiles, ending the conversation. A few minutes we stay silent, but then I cannot take it any longer. "But it is, isn't it?" He shoots me a confused look. "A big deal," I explain. "You said it wasn't a big deal, but it is. I saw your reaction when he asked me to keep quiet." I can't tell if he's annoyed that I brought it up or that I noticed in the first place. Still, he repeats, "It is no big deal, really." We are only a few feet away from our school now, its white dotted walls blocking the horizon, so I stop walking. I need to say this. I just don't want this to be Daniel all over again. He stops as well, his back facing me like a great barricade. His shoulders rise and fall, his breaths are slow and deep. Will he run? Will he be angry? I'm about to apologize for words I'm not sorry to have said, but that's when he turns around. His expression is calm. It's not simple words, no anger, but hope. Okay, I reply. We look at each other, me trying to decide whether he actually believes what he said, and he trying to figure out if I do. Then he turns around and we walk the last few steps towards school. December 9th. I'm in a wonderfully festive mood as Elea, Till and I wander through the Christmas market. Elea just talked to me about Josh and admitted that she does not hate him, which makes things a lot easier for me and Till. The people around us are finally relaxing and don't bother to be running around desperately trying to find Christmas presents, but take time to look at the lights that surround the marketplace like stars blinking in every direction you turn. And the air is filled with the smell of hot chocolate and cinnamon. It is beautiful. I breathe in, filling my lungs with the Christmas-scented atmosphere, and walk over to the next booth. It is covered with earrings and bracelets, silver and diamonds shimmering in the embrace of a dozen fairy lights. One necklace catches my eye. It is a golden amulet, its front polished in a way that makes it look like frozen fire, the flames captured behind the shining surface. I hold it up carefully, letting the delicate necklace run through my fingers. Till, Elea, come look at this, I tell the others, who stayed behind at the last booth, and then I turn around to ask for the price. It's only then that I notice a familiar face grinning at me from behind the accessoires. Toby, I smile in surprise. And I thought you already forgot me. He laughs, but I can sense some truth behind his words, so I hurry to respond. I could never forget the hero who saved me from the sports maze. We both laugh, and just like 3 days ago, there's a moment of complete focus, a connection that is stronger than words. I know how Hollywood this sounds as I think it, but it takes my breath away. But then Elea takes the necklace out of my hand to have a closer look at it, and the moment is gone. Reluctantly, I turn my eyes away from Toby as Elea tells me how pretty my find is. After both her and Till agree that I absolutely need this necklace, I give it to Toby, who, instead of wrapping it in one of the papers lying in front of him, reaches into the abyss under the table and brings out a small golden box in which he puts the amulet. As I pay, our hands touch, and it is like in the movies, the warmth of his fingertips burning on mine, his eyes looking right at me and seemingly seeing everything. Again, it only lasts a second, but as soon as it's over, I want it to be back. I have never felt this way. I follow the others to the next booth, my feet quicker than my brain, and when I finally turn around, Toby already has new customers. He appears to sense my glance though, for he lifts his head and looks at me, his lips forming a warm smile before he gets back to work. December 10th. Maybe there's a demon inside and some great wizard had to lock it forever in order to keep humanity safe. I don't even have time to recover from the tears of laughter running down my face, as Till immediately continues with his theories about why the amulet I bought yesterday won't open. Or maybe it's a genie and the guy from the booth wanted to keep the wishes for himself, so he manipulated the lock not to open for anyone else, would have been the end of that sentence, but Till doesn't finish it. Instead, he stares at the door, and as I follow his gaze, I see why. Josh and his friends just entered, and Josh's got a new accessoire, a hickey. I look at Till, who seems unable to close his mouth, but still hasn't let out another sound. Then I see Alea's confused expression, and pray to all the gods I can think of that she won't turn around. Of course, the gods do not listen. For a few seconds there is no reaction from her, just a tense silence and the air of feelings going wild. Then, for some reason, Till decides to find his way back into the present and says, "Shit." Just that. No attempt to comfort Elia, no explanations or distractions, just his broken voice describing this broken situation. Yeah, shit, Elia repeats. Two people in pain and me in the middle. My hand reaches for Till without even thinking about it. I just need him to stop looking so confused, sorry, angry. Before I can comfort him, he gets up. I'll let you two talk about it, okay? And with that he is gone, left the room without looking at Josh. And I stay behind to take care of Elia. I open my arms for her to lean into, give her my lukewarm chai latte, and start by explaining he's not that good with that kind of stuff. Then we spend the remaining time until the teacher enters, talking about the snow, the market, our Christmas plans, everything but the hickey in the middle of the room. While all I can think about is that Till won't come back today. December 11th. Till doesn't want to talk to me about yesterday. Every time I mention it, he changes the subject. But as we leave our classroom, he tells me that he is going home with Josh to talk things through. I could be angry at him for not telling me sooner, but I'm too happy that they are trying to care about anything else. Plus, I want to go back to the Christmas market anyways. So, this is your second job. Toby looks up from the earrings he was rearranging and grins at me. Actually, this is my first job, he answers, opening the small door at the side of the wooden booth to let me in. I'm surprised at how warm it is behind the table, but then I see a heater standing in the corner, making the inside a nice change to the cold surrounding it. My mom owns the jewelry shop, Toby continues. And since I've helped her out since I could talk, this is my first job. The sports center was just a hobby for a while, and then they offered to pay me, and I was just too polite to say no. Always the gentleman. And the third job? Some weekends I help out at a record store, mostly just organizing stuff, but sometimes I'm allowed to pick the music they play in the shop. It's really cool. But why so many jobs? As I said, this one is just the family business, and the sports center is more a convenience than a job, since staff members don't have to pay for the training. And the record store, I don't know really. It just kind of happened. It just kind of happened, I repeat, raising an eyebrow. He laughs and I follow his lead, enjoying how close we have to stand in the small space between table and wooden walls. So, Sam, any specific reason you are here today? Don't want to return the necklace, do you? His eyes travel to my neck where the golden amulet is placed. No, I say, I love it. Good. Because it looks really beautiful on you. I blush and mutter thank you. So what is it then? Well, as much as I like it, and I really do, there's something wrong with the necklace. The amulet won't open. Oh, don't worry, I can fix that. It'll only take a minute. I take off the necklace and place it into his hand. Then I watch him as he uses minuscule tools to loosen the screw. I watch his hand work with precise movements, his eyes completely focused, his lips pressed into a thin line. As he promised, it only takes a few seconds for him to repair the amulet, and I'm a bit disappointed that I will already have to leave. But then he takes a piece of paper from under the table, writes down a phone number, folds the paper into a tiny boat, and places it inside the amulet. As he stands up, he catches me staring and winks at me before laying the necklace around my neck and closing it. His breath so close that I can smell he had mulled wine earlier. He stays close and whispers, I would love to spend the rest of the day with you, but I promised my mom I'd stay until 8 o'clock. I'm really sorry. My heart beats so loud that I think he must hear it, and all I can respond with is a smile. Call me? He asked. I nod as my smile grows even wider. I will, I say. And then I leave. So, that's it for the Christmas story this time. It was quite a long one, this one. Even though it was just a week, so next one will be just as long. I had a lot of fun writing those ones actually, especially the Christmas cookie baking. It was nice. So I hope you enjoyed it as well. As per usual, the WATTPAD link where I've typed them all down will be in the down bar below. And yeah, I hope you always have a reason to smile, and I shall see you next week. Goodbye!